a strong leader also meant being able to rely on others to help get the job done. That included fellow soldiers who had vastly different strengths and weaknesses than his own.
And so this exercise is over. Thanks for tuning in, guys, and welcome back to Burden of Command. And as you remember, last time we finished the second chance scenario mission and had the option to save. That's what I did, and that's where we continue right now. The umpire's pencil makes a final note to the paperwork atop the clipboard. Mission draw. Finish the field problem on turn 3 according to the referee. Then minor victory. Referees determined that casualties were minimal, below 10%. Slow development of the attack, minimal losses, the field umpire says. And the next exercise will not be so easy. Share a knowing look at Sergeant Bennett. Let's mentally consider the last exercise. An assault has many components. Find the enemy, fix their squad in place with fire superiority, and flank their position and finish their squad with a bayonet assault. If you can do all that, the German will be sauerkraut for sure. Attack against and beyond the flank of the leading hostile elements, followed by support platoon attacking hostile flanked directly. Find, fix, flank, finish. This is the 4 Fs that were referred to in an earlier episode. Find, fix, flank, and finish. I feel I didn't have to do things in that order. Let's move on. Your men gather up. All 3 squads. This is my platoon. Personalize your platoon. Recommended. Standard army designations are fine. Not personalize. Not recommended. Let's do what's recommended. This is my platoon. Personalize your own officers. First right-click your leader portrait. Then click the Edit button. You can change your name, portrait, or the platoon's insignia. When you click on other officers, you can also change their platoon insignia, but not their name or portrait. Squad names can be changed. Current mindsets and details are also displayed. Discussed later. Click to change your name, portrait, or platoon insignia. The schedule is tight. While there is still daylight, the next exercise is waiting. Here we see click to read what they read. Service club, camp, picket. Yeah. Jeppe, story of a battle. He started out working like scrollable and zoomable. How do I zoom? Mouse wheel doesn't work. Not sure how I zoom, to be honest. But I can't read out a paper article now. Then we've got this. Private Joe Lewis says, we're going to do our part and we'll win because we are on God's side. Here we see a formation with squads echelons to the right or left rear. May be used to protect an exposed flank and permits maximum fire to be delivered promptly toward the flank. Squads forward, 1 back, or 1 squad forward and 2 back. Leader in front, messenger. Right. By the way, in a German platoon, but also in a squad group, the platoon leader or the group leader can move wherever he wants to. Let's click 8-hour man. Lamp. info. Make a portrait on the right to read and aid your man. This is Lieutenant unnamed, so this is going to be Wilson, Lieutenant Dearborn, Lieutenant Stern. So this is going to be us, I think. I'm going to edit him. Portrait is fine. This is also pretty cool. Also, he looks cool, but I don't smoke. Rather go for him. Oh, he smokes as well. I mean, what are you supposed to do in a combat zone? Stick with him. He looks chilled. And which platoon insignia shall we take? Let's stick to this for now. And we're going to be Lieutenant Vampiro. Save and edit. That's all with dots, so change that. There we go. Got quite a few points. Help a subordinate leader learn from his by 25. You can still undo commands. Let's undo. Or look up here. Loyalty 13, prestige, Captain Lamb. Yeah, I think the points go to us. Current trust is earned is 34. Our values. I see, and here we increase it using this. And here we could increase their values as well. They have enough experience. Let's continue our journey. Creep order, they cannot. OP fired on during that move. 2 houses is the next mission. 24th September 1942, Virginia, United States. I think like 1 video per mission is quite good, but I think later there will be longer missions.
No. When we left Fort Leonard Wood, nobody knew where they were going. I mean, they just loaded us on the train, and in fact, we didn't know where we were going until we got close to somebody, how it got out, but somebody said we were going to Camp Pickett, Virginia.
It's so cool that they use, that they talk with people who were involved, that they show the recordings. 24th September 1942, Camp Pickett, Virginia. Your men trudge down the road towards the next training site. Jeep comes the other way, burdened with big green army bags, mail bags. Think that's our mail, Lieutenant? Sergeant Bennett asks. Given how the Jeep practically overflows with cargo, some of it has to be for Nickel Company. There could be something from my parents who left behind that to parents. There could be something from my wife. Could be something from my sweetheart. The 7th Infantry Regiment, part of what would be the 3rd Infantry Division. Let's go. I mean, I've left behind my parents and my sweetheart and my boy. I think I'll go for parents. Parents are, being a parent, I think parents are usually most concerned about the well-being of a person. More or less matched with the wife, sweetheart, I think. Your parents worry about you. That's what parents do. They also write about the usual rumors, gossip, and events for your hometown. That has proven to be something of a relief. Men are certainly distracted by the possibility of their own letters too. Sergeant Grant glances between Bennett and yourself, clearly eager for orders. Unidentified soldier wearing a Brody helmet during the Carolina maneuvers on October 20th, 1941. Image from the Carolina maneuvers snapshot. No mailbags for us. Keep marching. That will reduce loyalty and increase loyalty is how favorably the man perceives. Favorably your commanders perceive. One prestige usually equals one loyalty. Back down the jeep. Grab the mail for later. Loyalty +2. Prestige -1. Double time march. Trust -10. Prestige +2. Back down the jeep, schedule a break. 20 prestige, 20 trust, and -1 prestige. I think we should grab the mail for later. Shouldn't be late. You have Bennett back down the jeep, and your imposing sergeant does precisely that by standing in the middle of the road and daring the driver to run him down. Brisk discussion results in the transfer of an army sack filled with letters. At lunchtime, the men can read them. That will increase their spirits, I hope. You know it's bad when you're looking forward to a cold lunch, Private Morris says to the lanky soldier marching beside him. Could be worse, Private Patterson remarks, briefly glancing down at the slightly more rotund Morris. We could be Marines. Yeah, or not get any food. It's Private Morris, 1st Squad, 1st Platoon. Give a little laugh. Show the men you understand. Very high chance of +5 trust. If Sergeant Bennett quiet the men down or commence a marching cadence. Refocus the men forcibly. No chance of +1. Let's be trustworthy. Food is super important. Trust +5. It's funny and true. Although given the amount of previous training that is scheduled ahead, margin of difference might be slimmer than your men like. Still, a chuckle sweeps the ranks, and that dispels the consideration of the improbability of a hot lunch. The humor continues right up until the field umpire, that same captain as before, steps over and signals you to bring everyone to a halt. This is Integrated Company Command Operations, the field umpire with the clipboard says. His uniform is somehow crisp, despite the heat. Right down to the black band of a field umpire neatly set about. Good news is that the next exercise is ready. Bad news is that you, Lieutenant, are not. Let's wait for the twist. This will not be a repeat of the last exercise, though, the field umpire says. Lieutenant Stern and Lieutenant Dearborn will be part of Blue Force. You yourself will be acting as their captain. You will have limited time to consult with them. Limited time, sir? Sergeant Bennett asks in your stead. How limited? We'll turn up the volume a little bit, by the way. Get more of the great music. Field umpire taps his watch lightly, then gestures toward the nearby rise. Argue for more time, use up preparation time, low chance for far more preparation time. Let's hurry over. Over the top of the rise you find two lieutenants in the midst of conversation. Stern paces about, kicking pine cones up with every step. Across from his man of bearing. Across from him is a man of bearing. tall without needing height. His hands clasped lightly behind him. Lieutenant Dearborn. That's Lieutenant Dearborn, platoon leader, 3rd platoon. Ah, Lieutenant, Lieutenant Dearborn says as he turns to you. We were just discussing strategies while we wait upon the captain. I'm the captain for this field problem. Then will eventually gain trust 4, or Dearborn will get it. Let's just say this. I'm the captain for this field problem. Okay, Lieutenant, Stern says without the slightest pause. Dearborn says nothing, but upon finding your gaze upon him, he tenders over a little nod of understanding at the situation. Camp Picket was erected on the site of a former Conservation Corps camp near the small rural town of Blackstone, Virginia. It had everything that was needed to expand as the army itself grew. What do we know about the enemy? What kinds of tricks do the refs have for us, or Stern head out right now? Dearborn serves some impression. And let's say this. A reinforced platoon from Red Force, Dearborn says. At least 1 machine gun. I didn't hear anything about that in the briefing, Ken Stern says. A very brief briefing. An umpire may have mentioned it in passing, Lieutenant Dearborn replies. What kind of tricks do the refs have for us? Red Force isn't entirely in the buildings, unlike last time, Stern says. They spread out onto the flanks, likely as not. Dearborn adds, they would guard the obvious approach to our objectives. A warning whistle blows in the distance. Flag goes up from the nearby radio man. The exercise is shortly to begin. Members of the Signal Corps during training in the field operate a field telephone switchboard. For now, I am the captain. Let's get to it, Captain, Sergeant Bennett says. Captain is a wild card. For orders, he can activate any unit in his company, regardless of the active leader, by using the Take Command button. Furthermore, a captain can bolster, press, and rally any squad in his company that is merely adjacent. In this scenario, you will play on map as Captain Lamb, so that you can learn about the captain. Now we are Captain Lamb. Captain can order any unit from any platoon. A platoon leader can only order those squads within their platoon. Captain does often coordinate efforts between platoons without allowing the enemy cover. An officer in the chain of command must expand in order to activate that front, that squad. Different squads, different icons. Once activated, a unit may spend its orders without requiring an officer until round end. Captain provides flexibility with orders. Captain can allow 1 platoon to really push. Lieutenant might not have enough orders to bolster, press, or rally his squads. The captain can do all of that too, and from adjacent hex that he does not get in the lieutenant's way. An ordinary leader must be stacked with a combat unit in order to bolster, press, or rally. The captain can be adjacent or stacked with a combat unit to press, bolster, or rally.
You may think tactical leadership is all about leading men in combat, difficult moral decisions, but frankly a lot of it's about coordination, or what the military calls command and control. Wouldn't be a credible leadership RPG without some of that. And you've got some problems, LT. Look at you. You're inexperienced. You've got 4 orders to run 3 squads. Contrast the captain. He's got 5 stars. He's got 6 orders to run. Wouldn't it be nice if you had that? Well, maybe someday you will. Now, you're running a platoon. You're not running Stern's weapon platoon. You're running your 3 squads. And the interface reinforces your spotting them. There are ovals for your platoon. They're also over here. And you have an insignia for your particular platoon. You're reminiscent of the cotton balers insignia. And by the way, you can customize that.
Whistle is blown. The mission. Finish the exercise before turn 4. The men suffer no more than light casualty. Here we go.
Mortars, forward.
Oh.
Quickly now.
Select the captain. Rally button. Rally adjacent. Captain can bolster. Unlike a regular leader, captain can bolster, press, and rally their company squads merely adjacent. And let's right click. Oh, that squad is getting their shit. Here, can press them to do more, Sergeant Bennett notes. Soldiering isn't about being big deserts and beds of flowers. Private Leo Kincaid takes the time to smell the flowers. We have a desert. Together you and Bennett get the men moving again. No time to rest. Not yet. Press order will expand one leader's button, but then refresh a single order for. This is most often used when it is in a bad position, but is also spent and can't act. What becomes tired and can't be pressed again until it's rested, either via a rally or the rest command. Okay. So one order non-leader unit. Select captain. Press adjacent unit. There we go.
There's another reason we do lead around, to emphasize another coordination problem, namely coordinating your company of 4 distinct platoons, independently led. That's not easy, and so the rounds force you to choose what platoon is doing what. And there's a last reason. The military likes to say, the enemy gets a vote, meaning they're not going to sit quietly while you do all the wonderful things you'd like to do. They might want to do things that interrupt your plan, kind of like happens in chess. You get a move, they get a move.
Oh, that makes sense. Another video. A cropped on March 1940, simultan by Max Huey in like in Harlem of North Holland. The umpire writes something in the small box, then initiate an initial set. I guess if I click here, it's just right.
There's another reason we do lead around, to emphasize another coordination.
Okay, we watched it already, so that's the only reason I clicked away. Nothing like a few sharp words from a sergeant to get a squad moving. Sergeant Bennett remarks. Once the excitement ceases, now we need them to lay down some fire to see whether the enemy is hiding over there. Going to do beacon by fire. And a messenger to Dearborn. Sergeant Bennett asks, his man, and you'll probably have other things to take care of shortly. No comment, the field umpire notes, except say that a captain's time is valuable, why you have ordinance can act in tandem with. Dearborn's round. Enemies rounds. Stern's rounds. Stern activated squad. Dearborn squads may not spell orders. Captain command. Round and then Dearborn's round. One squads may activate without needing the captain to command. If one of Dearborn's squads is activated, it may expand its orders with requiring enough spend or coordination between the component of burden of command. The captain is vital to success. And as a help take as you. If Dearborn order reckon by fire without having passed around, Captain can act in tandem with his Dearborn order reckon by fire without having turn away in a better position. Have Dearborn order reckon by fire without having around this can handle this. This is why a captain has subordinates. They can order their squads while their captain handles the bigger picture at the same time. Help. Press this button to access your field manual, the Wikipedia, which will explain gameplay details, interface elements, and hotkeys. Yes, here. Yeah, this is really good. What are these pages? That's funny. I like that. Kind of commands, must know stuff. Good that it's been select squad. Yeah, a slight interruption because the hard drive was added the 2 videos together. So we can reckon by fire, select squad, click reckon by fire, fire on the hex, enemies in the hex. Chance they will fire back, and shooting with rifle squad will consume up to 2 orders. And we expect them. Now reckon by fire. There they are, Sergeant Bennett calls out. They are dug in like a dog on Monday. Time for mortars. Nearby, the field umpire makes a note on it. American soldiers fire from an embankment, likely during exercise in 1944. Looks determined. Looks a bit bored, and he's focused. Time for some mortars. Quick wave of flags gets Stern's attention. Now a question of targets. Refs want two objectives taken, and they want casualties to fight. Both buttons them and victory conditions. Both should give you a major victory. Two objectives are marked on your map. Certainly the refs will tell you when you actually see and if the enemy has taken them back. They'll also tell you if you have inflicted the necessary casualties on the enemy or destroyed key battle units. Reports are good for something after all. Yeah, for now, major defeat. As objectives are complete, status will. One objective, two objectives, get most. Two objective, and most VP. What the difference minor and major? Yes? Maybe just much more. Oh no, we also need lots of enemies currently. Okay. If no one is in possession, things get a little tricky. Someone put up the proper flag. Show objective control. Bow arrow means uncontrolled. Present. Flag means required hex for certain victory. Oh. Neutral objective held by no one. And there's also no enemy in. Casualties happen. You see plenty of those before. Now, sometimes the swimming drop dead when their heart gives out because of some unforeseen medical condition. But regardless of the source, more casualties, otherwise it will be as a fighting unit. Unless you begin the game with heavy casualty scenario, or have a lot of units, the number of casualties must sustain in order to level for the man usually. go. But right now the men are fresh and the objectives have not yet been taken time to command. Button to close, back up and return to the... Okay, few victories. Captain, support button, barrage hex. On map artillery, more accurate and reliable but less intense. Off map. Got the missions. And we see all the stats here. It's 10 victory points, this is also 10 victory. Them out in order to be able to move here. Arrows show objective control. Follower means uncontrolled. Okay. What do the men want? Want little casualty. Okay. Select the captain. For mortar support. And cancel. Rush here. With off map and on map, I do want on map. Okay. Cover with a very limited chance. Here we go. It gets pressed. Backs up. The enemies over there registered hits. Mortars have fired. The Empire indicates. Will shortly have heavy artillery available to you. Proceed to an overlook position and act as a spotter for the rounds. Time to move to higher ground. The exercise continues. Hurry up the hill. The captain can see all this, which means he can call in artillery. All this. Spotter can call in artillery where they can, not simply where they can. Need to move the captain there. High elevation allows you to see more. Very useful for spotters. Right click to use 8 points. I think it would be better to move here.
So let's see some of these leadership problems of command and control in practice. We've got an assault situation. We're hoping to take out these Germans here. To make it a little clearer, let's turn on bases. And why don't I bring down one of my squads? Notice up here it's indicating it's going to be my round because I'm doing something. So it's committed to moving my platoon. Now I could move everybody now, but I want to emphasize you don't have to do everything at once. Let's just say I want to pass, see what the enemy does. So I do. Luckily they're pretty passive. I'm going to creep these guys up. I'm going to use hotkeys to make this faster. Now I feel in pretty good position for an assault, but unfortunately it's my round, so I can't really start firing astern. Let's pass. Remember, leadership rounds, command and control.
And if command is shown again, you can see a lot from up here. Okay.
Stern's going to soften these guys up, hopefully. It's bolster, of course. You always want to do that to win a firefight. Ah, wow, that was nice. We got them red right away. Let's just do one more to be careful. Though when they're red, you're usually in pretty good shape for an assault. But why not be overly cautious once? But I want to keep the momentum going. Now here's my problem. What if they've got a leader in there who's going to rally them? The enemy gets a vote, right? So I can't make my assault this leader round because it's Stern's leader round. So what am I going to do? Ah, this is where your ace in the hole comes in. Your captain.
sketch out a rough battle plan. Field umpire taps his pencil against his keyboard as you get into position. Here we go, Sergeant Bennett said. Concealed view battlefield. Perfect. Take a look down there. Enemies almost certainly inside. We could ring their bell with some artillery. Let's bring thunder. American 105mm artillery action. Photograph. 522nd Field Artillery Battalion in action during October 1944. US Army is going to use a lot of artillery. And artillery wins wars. Like that in First War a bit, not so like World War. And here comes some of it. Captain can see all this. All artillery and all of this. This is our objective. And this is another objective. Left click port button. Remember that WASD reposition the view. Yeah. Let's select our captain. All the green tiles can be seen. For that, run and check. Bounce. Hotkeys is obviously very important. Well, but no. Do the barrage with to barrage. Nice sound effect. I guess that original recording. Next up, the exercise is paused as the refs check your numbers and verify things with a rangefinder. Eventually they agree that the hives scored good hits. Two soldiers operate a rangefinder during training in England, which courtesy of the new. That's the math then, Sergeant Bennett says as you survey the hammered target. They look suppressed, so let's follow up on those buildings before they recover. Concerning enemy capability, key point of the exercise, the field umpire remarks. Smiley taps his clipboard. However, there's another small matter. Green high morale, yellow medium morale, red low morale. Continue, dear umpire. Sarcasm? What is it, sir? The umpire gestures down the hill at where a team of Stern's machine gunners have positioned the big wooden log that represents their Browning 30 cal. The trouble is, the weapon has a blind side in regards to the southern objective. 6 different possible facings, 1 for each hex side. And here you can actually see they are positioned accordingly. It will automatically align itself facing of a combat unit that enters the access. And the runner or the change facing. Wait for the umpire to say the word. Yell the order down to the regiment. Let's wait for the umpire. Then the runner, Lieutenant, the umpire says, exercise your authority over there. Facing forward, flank. Yeah. Unit can only fire what is in front of its back, so the rear can't be fired at. Select the unit. Use the take command button. Right click and adjust. Yeah, he's facing this way. All units face one hex side. That determines their firing arc, flanks and rear. Changing facing. No orders for input except for halted B. Left click, select the change face button. unavailable. Yeah, we first need a command. Also, it is Dearborn's round and not Stern's. Take command with Captain. Didn't cost anything. This is also for, I think. So let's change its facing to building, right? And this will be our flank. When scanners swiftly position their wooden lock to cover more of the battlefield, we'll have to do. Empire remarks. Then, Captain, you may, as they say, fire when ready. Order in advance on the objectives.
Captain Lamb here can do a couple of things. First, he's going to take this squad. You notice it's spent. And he's going to revive it. He's going to press it, give it an order. Notice he can do this even though it's your round, because he's the captain. He's going to bolster. I bet you can see where I'm headed now. And let's do the assault. Notice I get to do my assault during my round. Hoping for the best. Ha! I use the captain to glue my company together, to coordinate my weapons platoon with my infantry platoon. So, use your orders carefully. Place your leadership appropriately. Manage command and control. Command and control on the battlefield is hard. That's why you've got the burden of command.
The last video scenario, honest, still images from the Office for Emergency Management. Funny comments. The exercise will commence in earnest. Two houses, two objectives. Okay. Find the enemy. Fix him into place by shooting. Flank the positions so the enemy can't open fire. And finish them with an assault. You must use what to take an objective. That alone will not do. We need to work our way through here. This guy's round. They are suppressed and they should be suppressed. Okay, I do want to theoretically, yes, we have good chances. I wonder if they've got a line of sight. Sight tool? Pause, right? Points. Text with G. Wonder if I should. Yeah, they have lost their morale, them as well. I think. Well, what we're going to do, we are going to spend all our points. We're going to bolster them. Oh no, we can't because we're on this tile. Bolster them. Find the enemy. Into place by shooting. Flank the position so the enemy can't op fire. I want them to shoot at them. Oh no, they are spent. Blocked line of sight. We're going to shoot them. Target heavily suppressed. We're going to assault them. Are both units like that? I think so, yes. Here we go. Oh, I misclicked.
On the target and fire!
I misclicked. Can't undo. Didn't press the assault button, unfortunately. Okay, let's end this for now. It's going to take us a little bit much time. Yeah, they've rallied. That's really bad. That's how mistakes happen. Turn is it? Can't take command. Yeah, spent. Could press board. Press these guys. No. Make him lead. Shooting at them. Oh no, 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 no. Bloody hell, I've misclicked. But they surrender. That was pure luck. That's one down, one to go. Sergeant Bennett calls out. The umpire agrees wordlessly and ticks the board. Holy crap. That was unintentional, to be honest. So, can't lead. Turn is lead still. Here we can change facing. Locked line of sight. We could change our position, but they're not fresh. Where's our... It's here. Okay, so he could press the mortars. Right click.
The day ain't over yet.
And now can call in artillery, a mortar on this. Oh no, spotter line of sight. Okay. What we need to do, take Stern and move him here. There's an elevation, so I think we'll have line of sight from here. If I left click, I get the line of sight. There is line of sight. That's here. Thing. Go here. Only Lieutenant turn. Now the A should be able to fire, but he can't call in the fire because he's out of action. What we could do is we can take command with the captain and suppress them again. At least try to. Oh, not the line of sight. Does have line of sight, right? Doesn't have line of sight to the unit. But let's see if we can do that. We could only move it. Reckon by fire. Unavailable. Yeah, no line of sight. And let's end the round. Rallied again. They are not rallied. Is there line of sight to here? Yes, there is. I think. So let's end this. And we're in the next turn.
Hello, LT. I want to talk to you about one last nice aspect of your ace, your captain. He can influence troops adjacent. Doesn't sound that powerful, but it turns out to be quite efficient. So I'm going to have him bolster, I'll use hotkeys here, this adjacent member of your platoon. You didn't have to pay. Let's bolster these guys. Still didn't have to pay. Notice the enhanced movement.
That's
and
lovely.
If you want to be sneaky, you can even take command of one of my, or I'd say one of your platoon squads, and pay their initial activation for their move. That leaves you free to do whatever you might need to do. Assault, lead firefights, etc. You can also rally. Powerful.
That's fantastic. Okay. Flex up, flex down. No one is quite sure what is going on. There's some yelling between the umpires about the bombardment, but it makes little. Finally, the umpires refer to telephones what they have set up. Stenciled. One side there are the words field radio. Look at that beat. Sergeant Bennett says, hope we don't have to plug it overseas. Stern leads the weapons platoon. Airborne has the third platoon. But for this field problem, you are their captain. Your strategy is theirs. The other objective needs to be taken. Further glance. The umpire's clip. Sergeant Bennett remarks quietly as the two of you watch the radio operators. Going to rank your personal performance. Means leading an assault, bolstering squads, rallying squads, pressing the men, shooting at the enemy, the whole smash. Okay, what's next, Captain? Sergeant Bennett asks. The two of your turn yet to the field. And don't show them. Yeah, we could run into this. Okay, we're going to call in a mortar strike. They are not really suppressed. And we can't call in another mortar strike, that's the problem. Let's have them fire. Reckon by fire is not what I want. I want to shoot at them. Should right click, but I should bolster them. You only have 3 points. I want them to run into them. I do want to shoot here. I think we can bolster them, run with them. Let's shoot here. Get some suppression. They're not super suppressed. They are suppressed. What I want to do But we could just take command. Could bolster them once. No, he can only bolster his own troops. Okay. Take command with the captain. Let's hold this position. It's too far. And remember bolster. Bloody hell. What we're going to do is we're going to take them out first. You are going to shoot. Oh, we need to bolster. Bolster.
Cotton balers, with me.
Can assault. Good assault here. It looks actually good, and they are suppressed. Would be able to run there, I think. The outcome is But let's go and attack them. I think they will shoot. A flag goes up, a referee's whistle tweets. Casualty 10. Sergeant Bennett tells you. At least that's how the umpires called it. And me, they are just making stuff up. We should move on the objectives. Casualties inflict stress, and stress eats morale. Point for point. 7 losses, 10 morale unit. Will function at the level of a 3 morale unit. Medics work in a squad tent with as a temporary supply room for surgical items. General Hospital, Carentan, France. And not full. Okay, we also fired at from above. We did quite a bit of suppression. But luckily it's a training. That wasn't great. They are not activated, so I won't be able to much, I think. Let's take command with him. Empire says no more suppression. They are fully suppressed. And we are spent. What could assault them? But the chances are low. Bolster them. Let's move here.
What are you, stupid?
Now he can bolster them.
Come on!
Stern. Not leading, so we need to end. They're going to shoot at us. Apparently they didn't. Sees them. Can he order a strike? No, but we can maybe. Can't press the next tile, I think. Can't press them. Them here. Can. No, they're stationary. They could move. They are rear. Them from here? But sure. No, they didn't like. There's more enemy units. There's an MMG squad. I think they stayed here. This flank is secured. Okay. And we have one order left. Change the facing. Send Stern over here. Let's stay there. I don't think he's going to move. Might. No, not bolster. Let's press MG squad.
We ain't done yet.
Have been activated already, so we can come in here. Okay. Not looking good. 4 turns left. The nearby radio crackles. One of the refs cups a hand to his headphones, then blows a shrill whistle. The exercise pauses. Vampire steps toward you. Report at his side. He points toward the south edge of the field, where 10 soldiers emerge from the brush, wearing blue armbands. Who are they? They look human. No idea, sir. All my men are accounted for. No idea, sir. There, the field umpire says, then reconsiders, they are now your responsibility. Get those men out of the exercise area. While we are yelling at them, they'll be in company, Sergeant Bennett remarked. Okay. Units can always attempt to retreat toward a friendly map edge. If the enemy isn't able to shoot at them, then the move will succeed despite the level of morale. Command. Oh. What has reduced amount of morale due to time to rest. Far. Can't move them completely right now. Can move them here though. Bolstering them.
Where's that truck?
And what are we gonna do? Definitely need artillery support. They are quite decent rest. Now we need to let's actually take command of them. Captain, and shoot here. No, wait. They can bolster next round, but let's bolster these guys. And we're going to take command. Gonna shoot. They are already very suppressed. Also the enemy. So we're going to now. The initiative chance is rather high. An initiative chance is rather high. What if we had to attack them? Ah. Morale is also limited. Let's belly. You know, he's out of points. Bellied. Captain.
Gentlemen, steel yourselves.
Now the squad is out of action. Can press them. And we could assault. Chance to win. But I think if I now activate, I think they have not been activated yet, right? So we need to... Good chances here. Go. I think the color means that we will have to just crap out, Sergeant Bennett says. The ref roll their dice and decide that the assault wouldn't work. Maybe we can shift the odds back in our favor. To assault, use a high morale unit, preferably bolster the possible flank.
No can do.
Okay. Take them out first. Far. Can still shoot. Could also move here and then try to get into the forest. It will shoot at us. Go this way. No. Let's try to run. I think they shot a bit already, but that's good. Can't use them because we're out of points. Rest them. They need rest, I'm sure they do. I can. Okay, let's end this. And their flanks, but they can change their facing. Didn't. We can use him here. And we are going to bolster the MG.
Ross, aim high.
Then we are going to take what to shoot at them. They are flanked.
Knock them out.
They got to rest a bit and we didn't, I think. Get some experience here. That's all we can do. Okay, they've rallied somewhere, that's bad. Field umpire checks his watch and taps his pencil against his clipboard absently. You want to cut things short, Lieutenant Sergeant Bennett says to you, wiping the sweat from his brow. I know it. Cut things short, why? They set the rules, we must abide. Yeah, but we don't have to like it, Sergeant Bennett says. Orders? Okay, what we definitely need. Mortar them. Can we move him here? Potentially, but he can. Captain can bolster these units. Maybe I should have rallied. Shoot at them. Oh, bloody hell, I wanted to take command, which I... Another mistake. This must not happen. You know, in the actual fight. Can bolster his dude.
Follow me to victory.
They can assault from the flank. And we should win this. And we do. Legs go up, whistles blow. What the hell? Sergeant Bennett asks. Lie and wait. Enemy bombardment. The field umpire indicates and then writes something on the port of his keyboard. Late as usual. Be heavy enough to mark the end of this exercise and the beginning of the preview. Okay, we actually did get a major victory with very light casualties despite this push, which was initiated by my misclick actually in the beginning. Right click, I really need to be more careful. They were suppressed and I could have moved on to them. But I shot instead. In the mission, minor victory. Exercise completed in time. 10 prestige earned. Only minor though, but maybe I could have shot or killed the other unit. No one out of action, sir. Now I will save and stay tuned for the next episode. I will now edit the videos together. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. Until then, bye for now.